Hi everyone, my name is Isa. For the past few months, I have been conducting research on topics concerning art for a project at school. I wasn't looking for anything out of the blue or extraordinary. In fact, I was planning to just write about something that was already well researched and well known and just move on with my life. However, one day that changed when my teacher and I discovered something peculiar. We had found a man that has been lost in history, a man that has made major contributions to geology, has lived the life of an explorer, and has taken up a lot of my time during the previous months. Now I want you to imagine this. You decide to leave your family behind and spend the rest of your life traveling the world and indulging in geology, the world-shattering study of rocks, because you love rocks so much. Due to this passion, you find yourself joining multiple scientific organizations such as the Geological Society of London, conducting geological research in South America and uncovering the geology of Jamaica. At the age of 16, you marry a woman that happens to be 11 years older than you, and you have 3 children together. But you don't see them very often because you have time for only one love in your life: rocks. On top of that, you get caught up in multiple marriages, one of them ending with a possible love affair by your partner with the son of Paul Revere. Which is okay because, you guessed it, rocks. Your story ends with the publication of your last report and your retirement in your hometown of England. This spellbinding love story is the life of the English geologist James Gay Sawkins. Although this name is not well known, Sawkins is very important in the field of geology and is best known for his research and works in studying the geology of South America. A few of his geological reports include reports on the geology of Trinidad, reports on the geology of Jamaica, and geological observations of British Guiana. However, I'm not here today to talk about all of Sawkins' geological findings. I'm going to show you the Sawkins love affair. You see, throughout his lifetime, Sawkins was not only in love with geology, he also had a different partner, one that has been living in the background of his life. I want to introduce to you James Gay Sawkins, the artist. So Sawkins lived in the 1800s and was born in Southampton, England. At a very young age, he had shown a strong interest in art, and at the age of 14, he and his family moved to Baltimore, Maryland. There he was able to create miniature ivory paintings and sometimes made money off of them. As he grew older, his liking for art didn't diminish, and he was able to make a living off of his artworks. He later on held professorship of drawing at a college in Virginia, but he quit this job after deciding that he preferred a more active lifestyle, leading to him leaving for New Orleans, traveling west of Mississippi, and residing for a bit in Mexico. Although Sawkins spent the rest of his life as a geologist, he was truly an artist at his heart. Sawkins created multiple intricate paintings and pencil sketches throughout his life. He would capture the landscape of the places that he was in, and occasionally doing portrait paintings like this one. An example of his works is Hilo from the Bay, a painting of 1852 Hilo, Hawaii. Although Sawkins created many of these types of paintings throughout his lifetime, he used his skill mostly for recording his geological findings and the topography of the places that he was in. All that I mentioned before shows Sawkins' skills in art. I mean, he could have just been a very skilled geologist because technically decent art skills were required because photography was still non-existent. However, one speech he gave revealed his true love for art. His diction was not that of merely just a scientist. He waxed poetry about the past, present, and future direction of art. He held art high on a pedestal, as if it was something divine. He even went on a rant about how art was being ruined by mass production, commercialization, and lack of creativity. His final words in his speech show how to preserve the future of art. That is by cutting ties with all things industrial and returning to creating from and referencing from nature. By reading his speech, you will know that Sawkins was truly an artist. By the way, there is something funny that I came across in my research. During Sawkins' travels of America, he stayed for a while in the U.S. Virgin Islands, specifically the island of Charlotte Amalie. Now, if you have ever been to Charlotte Amalie, then maybe you visited the Pissarro building, an exhibition dedicated to the works of Pissarro and some other contemporary artists. Charlotte Amalie was home to the son of a Jewish merchant. This child was none other than the future Impressionist artist, Camille Pissarro. Why is that important? Well, according to the visual theorist Nicholas Mirzoff, they were both at Charlotte Amalie when Pissarro was home from his studies as a young boy. Mirzoff hints at the possible relationship between the two through comparison of their artworks. Now, I'm no professional, but just by observing the brushstrokes, the style, and the composition of these two paintings, you can see that they have many similarities. And in these two paintings as well, just by looking at the two, you can see that they share a lot in common. Later on, during Sawkins' years of retirement in London, Camille Pissarro and his friend Claude Monet just so happened to be in London as well, studying the works of English landscape artists. Well, isn't that a coincidence? There is a tiny, minuscule possibility that Camille Pissarro and James Gay Sawkins had a relationship, Sawkins being the mentor and Pissarro the apprentice. This is definitely a stretch and contributes nothing to the history of art, but there could be a sliver of possibility that this happened. If true, this possible relationship between an Impressionist artist and a geologist further shows that James Gay Sawkins is definitely an artist, teaching one of the most influential Impressionist artists of the movement. Regardless of this, his speech and teachings throughout his life have influenced many young artists of his time. What I want you to take away from this is that Sawkins is recognized as a geologist for his geological research and findings. But we should not disregard James Gay Sawkins, the artist, and the possible mentor of the father of Impressionism. Thank you.